And the fanfare surrounding the BC government's ride-hailing announcement has quickly turned to disappointment for many.
Now, some are calling it a watered-down version of the service, wondering if it'll give consumers any choice at all. Tina Lovgreen reports.
People in Metro Vancouver have been clamoring for services like Uber for years, but what's coming their way may not be exactly what they want. A day after the provincial government unveiled its plan for ride-hailing services, disappointment from those who say it's too restrictive.
And it feels time and time again like nobody from the government's been in a Lyft ride or ride share before, because the supply and demand and the service element is how this whole thing works.
The legislation would limit the number of ride-hailing cars on the road.
You don't need a cap in this day and age, so it's problematic. It could mean shortages in the number of taxis. It could be longer wait times, higher prices. You don't have a cap on the number of kind of coffee shops.
The transportation minister says supply won't be a problem.
Those are some of the details that still will need to be worked out, but we're looking at making sure that there are cars available when we need them.
Drivers will also need to get a Class 4 or commercial driver's license. That requires additional medical, security, and safety checks. Also, special insurance, which transportation consultant Victor No says will limit the number of drivers.
One of the benefits of ride-hailing is that it can attract different types of people. If they want to work for a very quick shift, just to make a few extra bucks, or if they want to be more full-time, there's a range of flexibilities of what kind of positions they can take. With a Class 4 license, that sort of reduces that flexibility.
So with the restrictions, there are questions about whether ride-hailing will be a viable business in BC. In Montreal, Uber threatened to leave in a fight over regulations. It made similar threats in other cities.
Now, Uber and Lyft may still want to operate, but what I'll say is that if they do come, people will be like, this service isn't all it's cracked up to be. Fares are just as high, it's still hard to get a taxi. I'm still being refused rides, and that's all the fault of the government's legislation as it stands.
Whatever version of ride-hailing we get, it won't be for at least another year, possibly 2. What's unclear is if people will notice a difference on the street. Tina Lovgreen, CBC News, Vancouver.